We always have people that want to volunteer more around Christmas and Thanksgiving.
But we're in need 52 weeks a year.
Our guests aren't on display. This is their lives.
We'll have people that say, I want my children to experience this and see this as though we're watching the homeless in their natural habitat. But they gawk. And it's super uncomfortable for our guests.
So we are really careful who we bring in to volunteer.
Their image of the homeless guy is that person on the corner, not realizing how many of these folks are older, of the older generation, how many of these folks are children and everyday people. We're really encouraging people to become sustaining donors with us, to where they find an amount they're comfortable with, whether that's $25 a month, $100 a month, whatever is comfortable for them, to make it a monthly giving, because that allows us to better budget throughout the year. I keep waiting for us to come up for air. It's just not happening. Pandemic into an uncertain political climate. The economy has been all over the place the last couple of years. This last year the economy was, I don't care what anybody's telling you, we were paying about 30% more for everything that we did.
So community, let's remember that Matthew's Hope is still here. January, February, March, all throughout the year, not just holidays. Hi everyone, I'm Tracy Lewis with Imagine Marketing, and we are joined by Pastor Scott, who is the founder and CEO of Matthew's Hope, as well as Shelley Bradford, who is the president and executive director of Matthew's Hope. This podcast is produced and filmed and edited by John Burkett with Imagine. Welcome to this week's episode of Straight Talk No BS with Matthew's Hope, presented by Imagine Marketing. At Imagine Marketing, we put in the extra effort to craft a tailored strategy for success. We also offer photography, videography, and even podcast production services. In this episode, we will be discussing the ongoing needs that Matthew's Hope faces long after the season of giving has wrapped up. Last year, around Thanksgiving and Christmas, Americans' goodwill was on full display. On Giving Tuesday alone, an estimate 11.1 million people volunteered across the country, and donors gave about $4 billion to charitable causes. The holiday season always seems to inspire people to think about those in their communities that are less fortunate. Approximately 5 to 10 million Americans volunteer at soup kitchens, food pantries, homeless outreach, or similar services around Thanksgiving and or Christmas. But unfortunately, they don't volunteer for the rest of the year. There are a number of factors that this trend can be attributed to, including cultural emphasis on giving during the holidays, employer or school organized services days, times off of work, social pressure, and tradition. Shelley, in your experience, does Matthew's Hope seem to align with these broader nationwide trends?
We always have people that want to volunteer more around Christmas and Thanksgiving. And I will say we are very thankful for that, but we're also very careful who we bring in, because we want to make sure that we're not bringing in people who just, I'm trying to find a nice way to say this. Our guests aren't on display. This is their lives, and we don't want them to feel uncomfortable. We want them to feel just as comfortable around our volunteers as they are us. So we are really careful who we bring in to volunteer.
It's funny, there's something funny, not haha funny. I often say, and it's not as nice as you just put it, is, people will have people that say, I want my children to experience this and see this as though we're watching the homeless in their natural habitat.
Right.
And it can get very uncomfortable at times, because people have come in and they gawk. And it's super uncomfortable for our guest when that happens.
And you can't even hardly blame them, because they're seeing something they've never seen before.
Yeah.
And
there's the balance.
And if it's not there, they have the right heart for wanting to be there, but I think there's so many people are so surprised at what we see every day.
Yeah.
That you can't hide their faces.
Our normal is not their normal.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We're deep in the middle of this, deep in the middle of this all the time. And so, it's not unusual when we see someone come in with a 4-day-old baby.
Right.
It's also not unusual for us to see when somebody comes in who's in their 90s, very grandmotherly looking.
Right.
And people they can't be helped but be thrown off by that, because their image of the homeless guy is that person on the corner, not realizing how many of these folks are older, of the older generation, how many of these folks are children and everyday people. And
Mhm.
so all of a sudden they come in there and they see, and we've had this happen also, where people have come in to serve and they pulled me aside and said, Scott, that was my next door neighbor.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a startle.
Mhm.
And then they don't know what to do because they don't want to embarrass their former neighbor, but they also can't get it out of their head what they're witnessing, and it gets pretty tricky.
Yeah. So many organizations cap or turn away volunteers during holidays because the supply exceeds capacity. Has Matthews Hope ever had this issue?
We have.
Yeah.
We have. Like I said, I really feel like we are really good at sifting through volunteers. And like if an organization wants to come in with their company to volunteer, we make sure that really aligns with what we're doing to help our homeless guests. I don't want some major corporation just to come in as a serve day just because they want to check a box.
Take pictures and post.
Yeah. And because does that look good for them for optics? Great. But is that really helping us? Not really.
So we try to really make sure that we have a purpose for them being there.
Yeah.
A project, usually a project that starts maybe back at the home office, and then is brought in some way and make that work that way. And when that happens, it's super effective and it's awesome to see. The challenge is that we also get people and companies that have gotten upset with us because we said we really can't use you right now. And they go, but you always aren't saying you're in need. Well, we always are in need, but we're in need 52 weeks a year. And everybody and their mother's trying to come and serve during that time. That makes it really, really tough.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So what challenges make that tough in that sudden surge?
Well, nobody, you can ask my staff. I'm always saying, don't turn people away. We don't want to turn anybody away unless that is just there's just no other option. And sometimes there's just no other option. We've got people that plan months ahead of time to come in and serve different times. And then we got those people that said, hey, my company wants to do this thing. And they're calling us a week before Christmas, or they want to specifically serve on Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Eve or something like that. That's darn near impossible. Now, there's places that do that. That's just not who we are.
It's not us. Right.
Some parents, as you guys mentioned, like to take their children along to volunteer during the holidays to remind them of those who are less fortunate. Could you argue that doing the same thing during the summer could be as impactful, if not more impactful?
I definitely think it can be just as impactful because kids are going to learn anytime. And I think parents sometimes take the easy way out. And because it's circled around a giving season, that's why they want to do it at the feel good time, like you said. And I think that's the difference. And the parents don't think about it as much as they do in the summer or, any other time of the year, just because they're in their lives, they're planning vacations and things like that. And so, I mean, I guess that's not nice for me to say that it's the easy way, but that's how I see it. It's
true.
It kind of is easy
fresh on their mind.
It's an easier way to bring it into conversation with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, when we say this stuff, easier way, it's easier because it's just easier. That's not meant as an insult at all.
Not at all.
But, when you're already in the season of giving, I always joke, everybody and their mother wants to help a homeless person between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And that's one reason we shut down between Christmas Eve and New Year's other than this year. We had to open up as a shelter again. Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes it can be even more impactful over the summer. One, because our need is greater.
Yeah.
Because again, people aren't just swarming to us to help. But also there's not a rush. Where in the Christmas time, in the Christmas season, the holiday season, people are kind of in a rush and subconsciously often don't even know it. They're just moving. They got a lot of stuff to get done. The days of you're going to get 3 toys for Christmas are long, long gone. We used to get 1 big one, 2 small ones, and your underwear and socks. There you go. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
So roughly $4 billion was donated to charitable causes on Giving Tuesday last year. Even if someone only feels the impulse to give at that time, are there ways they can spread their giving throughout the year without having to think about it each month?
I mean, one of the things that we talk about, and you'll hear me driving this home probably every time we come on here, is we're really encouraging people to become sustaining donors with us, to where they find an amount they're comfortable with, whether that's $25 a month, $100 a month, whatever is comfortable for them, to make it a monthly giving, because that allows us to better budget throughout the year. And it makes it easier for them also. Again, you're in the holiday season, you're already spending more money than you ever spend the rest of the year, and yet you have a heart to give. Let's spread that out a little bit. It actually works better for those of you that are not in our area and don't support us. Your local nonprofit will agree with this 100%. You'll never find, they're not going to fight you if you want to bring in the big check.
Sure.
But when they can spread it around, that's big.
So you talked about monthly spending. They can still on Giving Tuesday set it and forget it.
Yeah, Giving Tuesday or at any time they can go. And most nonprofits have a way of doing this. You can go on our website and you can literally put in how much you want to give a month, when you want to give it, and it will just automatically be taken out, and you'll be sent a statement, and you'll know what your giving is at the end of the year.
That's nice. Set it and forget it.
Yeah, they just set it and forget it. And quite honestly, it's kind of like if you have Netflix or something, you aren't thinking about your Netflix bill.
Right.
It just became part of your budget, and you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, that's good.
Where it takes a lot more to sit there and pen out a check, especially when you consider most our donors are middle class. That are quite honestly getting their teeth kicked out right now from the economy. So
it seems so much more helpful because, like you said, it's in the holiday season of, buying gifts and going places and all of these things. So it seems like less or more friendly on your budget just to set it and forget it. For the whole year.
When you think right now, we have to raise about $1.25 million a month. Now, keep in mind, that's just not cash. That's also in-kind services and all those. But if we didn't get those in-kind services, we couldn't either, we would have to figure out how to support that financially, or we just wouldn't do it. So it all plays a part in it. The challenge we had this year, quite honestly, is having to open up twice before the end of 2025 as a freeze warning emergency shelter. Kicked our butt financially. The money came in that we normally would reserve for the next year. We were spending it as it came in. So, we got some challenges ahead for 2026. I'm sure we'll figure it out. But, you're sitting on that money. You think, okay, great. And all of a sudden you open up twice. And it takes us, we can go through about a week's worth of resources in about a day and a half period. So if you're up to 3 days, if you're watching stuff, you just went through 2 weeks of things and people say, well, how is that? Well, you have overtime, you're running your showers, your utilities, your buses, fuel, everything you think of, you just multiplied from a 5-hour period every Tuesday and Thursday into 24 hours days on end. And we've already done that twice before the end of 2025. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's coming up again. This is supposed to be the coldest winter.
People don't always think of there being a need for cold shelters here in Florida, where the winters are typically much warmer than throughout the rest of the country. But cold is a serious threat to your guests, isn't it?
It's huge. I remember how, as someone who's been homeless, been in the streets, even I was shocked when I learned the numbers of people that die in Florida every year due to exposure.
Wow.
And every year is not like we've seen in 2025. It's not like we're seeing in 2026. What's it called? El Nino?
Yeah, I think that's what he said. Yes.
We're in a process right now where I suspect that we're probably going to open up a few more times. And we just came off a 5-day period, 5 days in a row of hundreds of people being cared for. Financially ate us up. But here's the interesting part. When you see what people don't realize in Florida, we have to pay attention to the wind chill factor here. Up north, I will go up north in 30-degree weather and actually enjoy it. It's a dry cold. When you're here, it's a damp cold. And so then you throw wind coming off of it. And what you see when it says 32 on the forecast, you're more likely going to see somewhere between 22 and 25 degrees here. And when you consider our folks aren't living in the woods anymore, they're living wherever they can find. So they're more exposed than they were before. So I think it's more important now than ever that we be able to open as a freeze warning shelter. That said, you got to figure out how to pay for that too. It's a lot of meals. I can think of just everything. It goes up exponentially.
Yeah, we've got to make sure that our staff doesn't get burned out. It's a lot. It's a lot. Because we have a small staff.
And that's tough too. Yeah, you mentioned that. Our staff, one of the hardest things I ever had to do, and it's the first time I've had to do it in 16 years, was for Shelley and I have to reach out to the staff and say, I know this is your time off. If there's any way possible, if they weren't traveling, can you come in? I mean, and literally, let's just be honest about it. I mean, I cut deals. I gave them they're basically, they got paid triple time. If they spent the night, they got double time. Yeah. If they came in during off hours, they got time and a half. Plus, they also got their
paid time off.
Their paid time off. It was the right thing to do.
Right.
But again, that's a chunk of money that you got to figure out where you're going to get that. And it's not that our people wouldn't come, but when you look how hard they've gone since even since the pandemic, it's been a constant drive. I keep waiting for us to come up for air. It's just not happening. We go out of the pandemic into an uncertain political climate. Mm-hmm. The economy has been all over the place the last couple of years. This last year the economy was, I don't care what anybody's telling you, we were paying about 30% more for everything that we did. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where some of these numbers are coming from. I can tell you what we're doing. We go to pay for food, what have you. We're paying a lot more for it.
When you open for a cold shelter, hurricane shelter, is that an opportunity for volunteers to contribute like they have during the holidays?
Yeah, absolutely. The good thing is in Brevard as well as in Orange County, we do have a really good core group of people. And then they have friends that will always want to do drives for us. We have one lady who her whole neighborhood will get together and do a drive, make a meal. Do you need towels? We need towels sometimes. Do you need sheets? Do you need blankets? Do you need pillows? We had one group just this past weekend send us a text message, 10 cots coming your way. Wow. And, that's not a normal thing, but it was a need that we put out there that, the volunteers pulled together to do.
And it's a double-edged sword because a lot of what we need for these times aren't direct interaction with our guests.
Yeah.
It's behind the scenes type of helping us with laundry. I mean, again, when you figure that we're doing 100 plus showers a day, well, that's a lot of towels. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a lot of cleaning. That's just one example. So what's nice about when this has happened so many times where they have friends down from up north, mm-hmm. and their friend wants to see what they're volunteering with. That's helpful because they can kind of attach them to their friend and they just do their thing. Mm-hmm. Locally, it's best when they can do things. Again, watch us on social media, because there's times where I go, I can't use another blanket today.
Right.
That can actually change
tomorrow.
Day. Yeah. Okay. Because I can't take it today. I have no place to put it. And people get upset with us. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, well, I don't understand why you're not taking comforters. Comforters are very hard to store.
Where are you going to put it?
And our guests don't want them because they have no way to try. Yeah. So we're always asking for lightweight blankets, and they go, and twin size. And they're going, but I've got this great queen size. Mm. I understand. Well, so-and-so was able to use it, then maybe let so-and-so take it. We're not trying to be ugly. Right. But when we're sitting there we literally have standardized our cots. Mm-hmm. Okay, because people started just sending cots, and all of a sudden we get big, small, that. Okay, which made it really tough to lay out a room. Mm-hmm. And so we found a cot that was on Amazon that was so specific to our need, how it was built and what it could withstand and what have you, that we started posting that. And now Brevard is completely standardized, and Orange County is getting there quick.
Okay.
And people went on there and they saw what the need was. They saw I wanted twin sheets. They saw that we wanted a pillow with a pillowcase, and preferably white. And people said, okay, all of a sudden they start popping in. 3 coming your way, 10 coming your way, 1 come. Look, some people 1. That's 1 more than we had before.
Right.
Do I like it when I can get 10 at a time? Love it.
Sure.
But you know what? 10 people doing 1, I'm at the same place I started. Mm-hmm. So that's beautiful.
Well, I think the thing that people don't think about is, do we keep blankets or do we send them out? Sure, we send them out. But cots, we don't send out. And so standardizing them makes it easier for us to store.
Mm.
Yep.
That's one thing that
storage is tough.
It's so tough. And in both locations. I mean, every day I'm educating somebody about, yes, Brevard is such a big area, but it's really not. We really don't have storage. We just don't. And it's no different here than it is over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, in both locations, we're renting additional storage space. So again, you'd have to make that make sense.
Yeah.
Is it easier to ask for more or buy some more than it is to pay for the storage? Typically, what happens is when we close down each day, when we pick everything up, if somebody's leaving, we give them the option of taking that sheet, that blanket, and that pillow with them. Some take all of it, some take none of it. Some take parts of it, but we give them that option. So that's one reason, again, why we're asking again for it. Otherwise, we're going to launder it and we're going to use it again.
When it gets cold for a few days here in Florida, most of us go to our closet and pull out that warm winter coat that just sits there the rest of the year. Even if someone gifted your guests a great parka, how reasonable is it to expect they could actually carry that all year for the few times that they may need it?
Not even a little.
0 to none.
Not even a little.
That's why we actually ask for hoodies and we look for sweatshirts. We look for light jackets. So they can layer them. Because give you an example, the cold thing we just went through. Okay. At night, we were down in the 20s. During the day, and some days it was clear up in the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are they going to do with this stuff? Again, when you consider at least the new laws in Florida, and we're seeing this happen throughout the country that have made it illegal to sleep outside. It's not like they can leave something at their camp. So whatever's given to them, they literally are carrying with them day to day.
So if someone were wanting to plan out the year and come and volunteer or give more, are there certain times of the year besides holiday seasons that they can come and do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you have a couple of things that are happening. The nice thing about summers is often children can work with their parents under the right circumstance, not all circumstances, but in the right circumstance, the children can work alongside their kids. We also have a number of teachers that serve with us during the summer, but we also have a lot of our volunteers that go on vacation. So that's, it's constantly even flow. It's crazy. Even like with giving right now, our best time of the year is the fourth quarter of the year. That's it. And the last month or so of the third quarter. That's because corporations are wrapping up where they're at. Individuals, some of them because of their investments, have to make, if they have a certain type of account, they have to give some money away. And then what happens is once you get out of around February, from there, it's a slide down to where our lowest giving happens during June, July, August. But our numbers continue to grow. And so that's why we talked about sustaining donors earlier. And that's where some of this challenge comes into, is because you're constantly, as a nonprofit, we don't just say, well, you know what, we can no longer do showers during the summer. We can't do bottled water during the summer. Our medical team can't be available during the summer. So when people look at that and consider their way of whether they're given their time, talents, or treasures, if they stay aware of what the trends are, that can be really helpful. And we talk about it on social media. The truth is, every week, not just this time of year, but every week, I will pop on social media once or twice a week and say, this is what our need was. And again, it may be, I said no a few days ago, but this is what happened.
Right. It may be different the next day. So community, let's remember that Matthew's Hope is still here. January, February, March, all throughout the year, not just holidays. So make sure that you're following them on social media, because you guys are very good at posting what your needs are financially, or whether it be a product that you guys need or a volunteer. And
so Tracy, before you finally finish completely off, the other thing I want people to be aware of too is we're preparing to fully launch our sleeper buses.
Yes.
Again, additional expense.
Absolutely.
Great opportunity. Get people off the streets, get them a full night's rest at a climate controlled area. That costs money.
Yeah.
But we're doing that full release here shortly, and that's going to take more resources. But it's just one more example of us listening to what's going on out there and addressing the need. Yes, we can address it. We understand what's going on, but it all costs money.
Definitely. So community, let's help them. Make sure you're following them on social media. Make sure you share this podcast with others too, and continue watching and listening. We'll see you guys next time.